Radio Go. Radio Go.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on Radio Go for a new episode of our series of podcasts, your chance to learn more about the launch of Group Operations. The purpose of this series is to dive into the objectives and priorities of each of the divisions and to see how they're actively supporting Group Operations 10 priorities for 2019 by bringing you insights from the leadership team. Well, today we're going to get up close and personal with the Transformation Division of Group Operations. And to help us do that, I'm very pleased to welcome two employees who've come to the studio with questions from their colleagues. Let's meet them now. Can we start with you, Paul-Henri?
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul-Henri. I work in AXA Rev, where I lead what we do around conversational artificial intelligence.
Welcome, Paul-Henri. Thank you for that. Next, she's travelled to us from Morocco. Lubna, hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lubna Nasri. I'm a financial controller from Morocco.
Fantastic. And to answer their questions, let's introduce the members of the leadership team, starting with Magali.
Hello, I'm Magali Marcel. I'm leading the HRBP and Change and Transformation team.
Welcome, Magali. Ami, to you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ami Jiridi, and I'm in charge of the workplace products within Group Operations.
Okay, thank you very much. And last but not least, Isabelle.
Hi, I'm Isabelle Sonneville. I'm in charge for transformation for Group Operations.
Okay, well, Isabelle, before we dive into the employees' questions, can I ask you what it means to be the Chief Transformation Officer of AXA Group Operations?
Well, yes, Group Operations defined its vision and also its 10 priorities. And so I would say my dream is to make sure that Group Operations is able to deliver its objectives, its priorities. So that means concretely, first, being a company easy to work with, with simple processes, clear systems and tools. And second, being a great place to work. So where people feel committed, engaged, inspired by what we do.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Isabelle. Okay, well, I think that sets us up perfectly to start with our questions. And I think it's Paul-Henri that's going to start us off today.
Sure. So, Isabelle, one of the 10 priorities of the Group Operation transformation is to prepare our people for the future. Could you tell us what it means concretely?
Well, yes, at Group Operations, nothing happens without people. And we have very skilled people, but the reality is also that we need to anticipate the evolution of the environment. It's moving very fast. So we need to focus on the future technical skills. As you know, Paul-Henri, especially in your area, it is true, but also on the soft skills. How we interact, how we collaborate. So this will be key for the future. So we intend to launch upskilling, reskilling programs, but also encourage people to be more mobile as everyone needs to multiply the professional experiences in their career.
Okay, well, let's be concrete here and look at the how. You have a question, Lubna.
I have a question about mobility. If I want to evolve in my career, perhaps make a sideways move into a completely different field, what support will Group Operations Transformation provide?
First, Lubna, we will help you to qualify better what you want to do, in which job you would like to evolve, what's your motivation, what are your skills, technical but also soft skills. And for that, we have deployed basically, by the way, an app which is called Job Maker, who will help you to define that. And then based on that, based on the work you will have done, we will qualify again with your manager and the HR which job fits your project well. Okay. Then we will define what learning, what coaching, what support you will need to go through this mobility.
Wonderful. Where can people find this app?
In fact, the app is in the pilot phase and the pilot takes place in France and Morocco.
I mean, do you want to jump in with a question now?
Yeah. So, Isabelle, you've just discussed about the priority around people, which is basically one of your area that you are leading. But I was wondering, on the other side, how do you think you would contribute to the 9 other priorities of Group Operations?
Yes, well, I would like to be for you an excellent business partner, meaning providing the right people at the right moment for you, making sure that they feel engaged, making sure that they are trained, making sure that they stay at AXA. So this would be my contribution for you. But on your side, how can I contribute to your journey, Ami?
So let's say, we are and we will be building a lot of workplace products this year. And one of our major challenges is really to deploy them, to build them and to deploy them, etc. Something where we are not that good is really in terms of adoption. So we'll definitely need you and your teams to help us in this area with your change management people, really to kind of embrace the change management and ensuring that it's not just about technical deployment, but really going further, because what counts at the end of the day is really the adoption of our end users.
Something to work on there.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Magali, do you want to add something?
But maybe to summarize what Isabelle and Amy said, is that we have two teams who are there to help you. Amy, there is a team of the HR business partners who are there to help you defining the HR priorities for you, making sure, as Isabelle said, that your people are there with the right skills, engaged, motivated. And also we have the change and transformation team who are there to help you in your transformation journey. And part of it is helping you on the change management.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's go back to Paul-Henri for another question now.
Isabelle, we are in a new organization and people have gone through significant change over the past few years. So today, how would you assess the current level of employee engagement and what can we do collectively to improve it?
Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, we have on a regular basis our Pulse survey. We just had a Pulse survey a couple of days ago and we are up to share the results. And definitively, this is our barometer, our indicator to check to what extent people feel well at work, but also to what extent we are really simplifying the organization, to what extent it is a great place to work. So we will follow this very closely in the coming weeks and months.
Okay, do you want to add something, Magali?
Yes, as part of the Pulse survey, there are the barometer also around our commitments. So the commitments are related to the 4 AXA values: 1 AXA, customer first, courage, and integrity. And what is also important is to understand where our people, where all about us, are positioning ourselves toward those values, because the values are the culture bonds the people behind organization, processes, tools. And it's very important that we know where we are and where we need to progress.
Well, that seems really interesting. I mean, when I see how big tech companies are actually using their workplace and the way people work to attract talent, especially in innovation and technology, I think it's a great work stream for us to improve.
Yes, we are very conscious of that. I think we are going in the right direction. I would say country by country, entity by entity, but definitively we are on that track.
Very good. Okay, well, let me turn back to you, Lubna. You have a question about the Go Smart program.
Yeah, I have a question about Go Smart program. What is this about?
Yeah. So last year in 2018, we merged ex-TP, AP. We welcomed our GIE colleagues. So we launched group operations, but we cannot say today that everything is simple and that all processes are clear, that systems are all working well. So Go Smart is about 2 things. So first, make sure that we simplify, that we continue to simplify, and on the other hand, that we put those commitments Magali referred to into practice. So it is both, and let me give you an example. For instance, the sourcing process, which means I need a resource. Is it an external resource, an internal resource? How can I do that? What is the process to go there? Is it fluid? Is it rapid? So often when we ask people today, the answer is no. So we decided to focus on that process and at the same time to look at how do we collaborate during this process? How do we interact? Do we take ownership? Do we look at the user experience? Are we making sure that we behave as one team? So this is the purpose of Go Smart program, is to make sure that we are able to simplify our organization and improve the way we collaborate.
And for our final question, Paul-Henri, go for it.
So I think that diversity and inclusion is quite mandatory to develop sustainable business today. So could you elaborate on what you consider the role of group operation transformation in the execution of the diversity and inclusion strategy?
Yeah, well, my team is key to achieve that. Why? Well, because we are the ones who recruit, who will select people, successors for the succession pipelines, who will encourage mobility. And why? Well, because we are convinced that as we are a global company, we need to have those diverse profiles in terms of gender, of course, men, women, and we know in terms of women that we have some progress to make, but also in terms of seniority, as we need young people, but definitively we need our senior people as well. But also we want to make sure that the LGBT community feels fully included in the workplace, that the disabled people also have their place among us. So those are, I would say, the various aspects of the D&I strategy that we intend to put in place.
And diversity obviously also comes from Max being a global company. Amy, does that mean that it changes the way people work?
Definitely, yes. If I take concrete examples, 2 which are our priorities. We have 6 priorities within workplace. One of them is work from everywhere, which means really empowering people to be able to work wherever they are at any time, which means also more autonomy, better management of their time, and also being able to handle, for example, some personal or family arrangements. So, second example is more around collaboration, which is one of our other priorities. Today we are struggling when we want to do a video call, for example, with our people across entities. We are really struggling. So why? Because we have tons of solutions, different ones in the different countries, etc. So what we are trying to do is really to convert into one solution, so that we have no more to think about what solution should we use. We have one solution and it's working worldwide. And last but not least is more an organizational one. We are too much Paris and French-centric. So basically what we want to do and what we are doing basically is really moving from a model where we have a hierarchical team in Paris, moving to a much bigger community with people around the world in the different entities, being part of the same community and working together across the world.
A real global company then. Thank you very much. Well, thank you to all 5 of you for your questions and your answers. They were very interesting and very full answers there. And now it's time to get to know you all a little more on the personal side with a personal question. So my question of the day is this. If you could have dinner this evening with anyone, dead, or perhaps not dead, but resuscitated, alive or fictional, who would you pick and why? Let's start with Amy, because I've been on tenterhooks because he was thinking about it. He wouldn't tell me what it was before going in. I want to know.
So basically, I thought about the designer of Fortnite. I don't know if everybody knows what Fortnite is.
No.
Fortnite is a very, very famous...
I hate this one because my kid is completely addicted with Fortnite.
I love it. And basically, it's a very famous game which is reaching millions of people all over the world, regardless of the age, by the way. And it's very impressive the way they have been able to spread it so quickly. So it's very interesting, and I am really wondering how they thought about the concept and how they designed it to make the adoption so easy for them. So very, very interesting journey they went through.
Sounds like the rest of us are going to have to try this, and sounds like Magali needs to send her kid to Amy for a bit of a fun time there. For a play date. They can have a play date.
My kid have fun time. It's me who has no fun time.
Okay, that sounds good. Isabel, how about you?
Well, I would say the first would be a Superman or Superwoman. And the second one would be having a dinner with someone like Christine Lagarde or Nicolas Hulot. And why is that? Well, very serious after Amy's intervention on Fortnite. Sorry for that.
It was a very serious intervention.
But, well, we are talking a lot about climate and in those times. And for instance, in my country, every Thursday, children at school are in the street because they want to... they want governments to act when we see what's happening against climate. And so I would like to have a dinner with people who have big responsibilities to discuss with them on how they see our capacity worldwide to change the way we consume, the way we produce.
So from the business point of view and then from the environmental point of view, and then you have Superman and Superwoman to save the day.
To do it.
Okay. I like that. That's the plan. That's definitely a plan.
That's the plan.
Okay. Lubna, what about your dinner?
So I will be in the same area like Amy, but for the real life, I would like to have a dinner with Cristiano Ronaldo. It's
That sounds like a simple dinner.
not,
Is that a date or?
not a date,
Not a date, okay.
just a dinner.
Okay,
I
and
like
what would you
him.
like to talk about with him?
Football.
Well,
Yes. You like football?
Yeah, I like football, and I watch all the games.
so what's
all
your
the-
team?
It's Real Madrid.
Of course, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So it's my favorite player, and
And what would be the one question you'd want to ask? How does he do it?
Yeah. But I like how he plays, how humanity also. So I like him. I
Okay.
want to have a dinner with him.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
like an interesting dinner. Okay, very good. Magali?
I would like to have a dinner with my husband because I don't see him so much this time. But if he's not available, I would go for George Clooney.
That's a double way of telling him
Not
to come
because
home.
he's a
I like it.
handsome man, but because he could also be a good player in the American election. And I am wishing that we have a change there because I think it's very important for the climate. And it resonates what Isabel said. And I think our governments have a very great responsibility, and we are not in a good shape.
So we're waiting for the Clooney candidacy to be announced. So Magali is definitely already inviting him for dinner.
yeah.
Okay, whether or not he wins. Paul-Henri, last but not least, who is your dinner date?
Hard pick. But I chose Elon Musk for several reasons.
Ooh,
Elon Musk, yeah.
he might come. He's a bit crazy.
I know. So for this very reason, as he's a bit crazy, I'm sure I'll have good fun.
Yes.
First. Second thing is that, as me is a total geek who, intend to do good in business, basically. Same for me. And last thing, he's quite rich, so I'm sure he'll bring me to a nice place, right?
I think you're inviting him, not the other way around there, Paul-Henri. That's not going to work.
That's too bad.
It's a nice try. I like that very much. Well done. Okay, well, thank you very much to all five of you. We had a very full studio today, as you could hear. Loubna, Isabelle, Magali, Amy, and Paul-Henri, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for listening to this episode. And do stay tuned for more information on the launch of Group Operations here on Radio Go.
Radio Go. Radio Go.